The wind still howls. A tiny home on the outskirts of town. It sits with its little red roof as its little black door, and its little windows peering outside. Within this home is a heretic to the world, residing alone away from all awaiting death from the townsfolk, starvation, or perhaps it. No matter the messenger, death is coming, and in his stead we await the day the sky shall turn, and the twist occur once more. We can only hope that this time, it only takes one. We haven't a clue to us what lies above, where it takes us. All we know is that at some point we must go with it. Our eldest, the newfound heretic, is next. For his actions as heinous, he shall be taken by it. What has he done, you may ask? Well, allow me to educate you. This town is unlike any others in the world. We reside in the south end of a sea of corpses. The water rotted from the decaying flesh sickens me to this day to even smell it. The walking sea may be disgusting, but it provides nourishment to our island, to our crops, and even to us. We must drink at least once a day. It tastes like copper mixed with raw fish intestines. So hideous, so disgusting. We must drink it. If not, then it will come down and punish us like the last time. Ever since that day, we have been obedient to our silent God. We grow our own crops and drink the sea to keep it away. Madness is common with this sea rot, so we often perform sacrifices just to appease it more. The last to go was my mother, and not by choice. It was him, the madman. He claimed to have seen worms writhing in her throat and her skin twisting along, nails clipping and eyes bulging. He said she was one of the reclaimed, horrid abominations taken by our lords and washed from the walking sea. He decapitated her before my very eyes. I watched the blood spurt from beyond the fence line. He screamed down and struck her back. I watched his harvesting scythe fall upon her face-down body. I told my father, who ran with me in his arms to our leader, a man named Barnabas. He inscribed on our skin a protective glyph, supposedly, and prayed we help him and his party find the man responsible. When we found him, he had no recollection of what he had done, and was still harvesting the grain calmly. I remember that little house. Light brown walls and dark red roof complemented each other. It is illegal for any of us to paint our primary homes in this fashion, as it could bring the same fate as the only house like it. The grass. It was a dead black, inky. The windswept shores carried the scent of flesh rot. The sea was moving again, a sign of winter. The little house and its inky black lawn, a homage to catastrophe, was always complemented by that flesh rot scent. This is our sacrificial home. Upon our first use of it, the man broke out, which caused the howl. Oh, the howl. How awful it was. It was an event that resulted in 4 of us being taken by it. The screams echoed through the skies for days and on end. Bodies were found mangled out and functioning along the shore, and even mangles of ourselves were found, buried without another word. It was all his fault, so we hunted him down and we found him. We crucified him. He was put on a cross in the center of our village, the blood dripping from the wood. There was so much of it pouring from him due to the whipping beforehand. He continued to scream for the whole day, begging to be set free. The sounds were hard to bear. The wind came in to deafen us all. And when it left, we heard a distant scream, a thundering crunch, and silence. That night will forever resonate in my mind. I was young at the time, and the images and sounds I can still see and hear them in the back of my mind. The images flash when I am asleep, and on perspective I did not hold were evident. The sounds, like angry whispers, they taunt from the shadows, but no taunting whisper is as loud as a whisper from it. During church, these whispers are the quietest for all beside myself. They almost screamed into my lungs, begging me to belt their angry voice, but no. I remained reticent despite my urge to yell. They filled my lungs even in bed, and all I can hear is its hideous voice harmonizing with others. This sacrificial home is full of food and clothing, enough to make your final days at least bearable. But that only goes so far. We lock you in. No matter the screams, no matter your voice, we only hear its voice, and it grows hungry with each passing day. He has been in there for 3 days thus far, and the wind has only just picked up. This sacrificial home is filled with food and clothing, enough to make your final days at least bearable. But that only goes so far. We lock you in. No matter the screams, no matter your voice, we only hear its voice, and it grows hungry with each passing day. He has been in there for 3 days thus far, and the wind has only just picked up. It clearly wishes to feed. I wish to observe, but the ramifications of my action. Our leader has warned us. When the sky contorts, shut yourself inside. He never mentioned the punishment for not doing so, and I fear the consequence. Perhaps, if he doesn't see it, I may be able to escape that punishment. I looked to the sky. The clouds began to stretch and twist. I ran into my room and half shut my window, keeping an eye out for the oncoming god. I gazed across at the little house, which now had ink crawling up the walls, caressing the house, seemingly trying to comfort it. I gazed across at the little house, which now had ink crawling up the walls, caressing the house, seemingly trying to comfort it. The wind now shredded through the grass, picking the dead leaves up and flinging it around in the air. The writhing tendrils of inky darkness slowly crept up the sliding until eventually the bottom was nothing but dead black. I could see his face. Fear hung in at every crevice, and the panic was clear on him. His hair was a mess. He sprinted to and from, slammed his skull against the glass like a dog in a cage. His panic was unidentifiable, only because of magnitude. My gaze shot to the sky, where I saw the clouds were no longer clouds, but rather a solid leather substance that stretched and contorted. Innumerable ripples were seen along the sky. The only way I could describe it is like skin. Eventually, from the epicenter of contortion, a protrusion was spotted. It was growing, elongating, writhing. The whispers grew into a moan, which silenced our breaths. Petrified, I couldn't move from my position. I couldn't duck under my covers and wash away all of this. Rather, I was forced to watch. I saw this protrusion slowly coalesce all the clouds, which aided in its formation. The head was present, a dense lump undulating from the mass above, their tight twist seemingly strangling something within. Again, I saw the man bashing a nightstand into the window, and even from here, I swear on my name, I heard him scream. The lumpy point of this protrusion slowly opened, revealing 5 tendrils, one on the end that is short and stubby, one in the middle which matches the others in thickness but not in length, as it was the longest. It oddly resembled a human hand. The tendrils gently began to surround the roof as they went toward the house fences from their roots. The man screamed again, and this time it was as if he were right next to me. My spine shivered. Fear struck every nerve in my body, and soon my mind felt a tad off. As the fingers slowly enveloped the house's roof, gripping and soon tearing it from the top, my mind began to scream itself. My thoughts were gone, and a splitting headache tormented me. Like icy daggers throughout my skull, as I pulled the roof away from my head, felt as if I was being torn apart. Blood droplets began to fall beside me. I presumed from my fears, but no longer reached my body. I could not move. The hand reached inside, and within my own head I felt fingers digging through my recesses. Bony, cold, and harsh. I felt as if my mind were being ripped apart. I saw a few chunks of wood pierce the sky from being flung, and as soon as the chips were spotted, my vision turned blurry, as if someone had struck the back of my brain with no skull to defend it. My hand regained some control, and I slowly raised it to feel my scalp, only to feel nothing there. Just a squishy mass of gelatin. was twisting. My hands began to move, breaking and bending to the sound of squealing violins. My skin was twisting and yet no pain came through me. My scalp was gone without a trace, and my heart beat faster with every beat until it began to feel an intense pain. My other hand, still somehow intact, felt my chest, and its skin too was twisting. What was happening? Another blow, and woodchucks flew from the house once more, until I heard nothing more than broken violins and the screams of this man. I looked out the window one last time to see him frozen in fear, not peering at the sky, but fixated on me. One more blow and I saw black. This perpetuated until I felt a breath reach from my lungs. I was in the gray, stormy clouds, and below me I saw a tiny, itty-bitty village on the south end of the walking sea. My stomach growled.